everybody. This is the Figuring Us Out podcast. We again thank you for joining us on this beautiful, lovely day in Portland. It was snowing a little bit earlier, but we're good now. We're good now. Sun's peaking. It's getting really nice out here, and I'm excited to see the cherry blossoms come out. So Portland is the go-to in the summer for sure. Everybody, we thank you for joining us on our sixth episode. Sixth episode, guys. We're moving along. And on this episode, we're gonna be talking about hobbies. How hobbies, relate to our mental health, our favorite hobbies. Now, as adults, what our hobbies are. We'll be talking about how it affects our mental health for sure. But as usual, before that, just a routine check-in. Mr. Andrew, how you doing, man? How you feeling?
Overall, I'm coming along smoothly. It's good. I know some people have been getting sick a little bit during this transition to the springtime. So I've been trying to do my best to avoid getting sick or not getting sick too bad. But it's been coming along. It's good though. It's been good. I'm looking forward to sharing some of the hobbies that we do to maintain and sustain our just overall health. So it's nice to be here, and hopefully y'all continue to enjoy what we share. So how about you, Ison, man? You how's that ankle healing? Because I know the last time you said your ankle was kind of, you sprained your ankle. So is it healing all right?
Yeah, it's doing pretty good now. I'm able to play tennis and do all that stuff. So it's been pretty good. I think not being able to play for an entire week sucks, but really rest is the best way to recover from it. So if y'all ever have an ankle sprain, put it on ice, put an ankle brace on it, and just rest for an entire week. And then just get back into it the next week. So it's going off that, spraining ankles, the NBA. we're gonna play a little game. We're gonna play a little game here. So I'm gonna name a couple 5 teams randomly.
Oh, we got
one by one, and then you're gonna rank them 1 through 5.
All right, let's see what this icebreaker is, y'all. Let's see what this icebreaker is.
Let's see. Celtics
2.
Wizards
5.
Spurs
3.
Warriors
1.
76ers
4.
So you had Warriors, Celtics.
Yeah.
Celtics number 2. Then you had 3 was the Spurs, 4 76ers, 5 Wizards. Oh, that's a pretty good. That's a good top 5. Not too bad.
Not bad. I'm sure Spurs is going to try to pick up Victor. The French guy that they're trying to draft. But
yeah. We'll see how that goes. That was a good one. That was a good game. We'll play more games as we go along. I just wanted to do a quick one.
That's a cool little icebreaker. I would ask you to do the same, but I'll do that. I'll say that for the next episode.
Next episode. That's good. So going back to hobbies, what kind of hobbies did you have as a kid, and how did they change growing up?
Hobbies in the urban city of Portland. I'm a city boy, so hobbies as a kid was just walking places, walking to the park, biking to the park, just playing with friends outside. I was outside a lot of the time. I used to climb trees, used to hop on people's roofs. I've done a lot of outdoor adventure things as a kid, and then some hobbies. Other hobbies outside of just being outdoors as a kid was playing video games. I always played video games. I'm still a video gamer. I don't play as much as I used to, but always enjoy that. And just hanging out with friends and family. That's always been a huge, good hobby that I've done. But again, this is from a city boy. I'm sure the island life hobby is a little bit different. So what was your hobbies as a kid?
So growing up, our tennis, our my parents would put us in tennis. We lived a couple minutes away from the tennis courts, and every summer, without a doubt, we'd be at the tennis courts.
That's cool.
Um, we my brother and I actually like we started tennis at a very young age, and I mean we just grew to love it.
Hmm.
But growing up, move into a different high school that doesn't have any tennis.
Hmm.
We kind of stopped that. But it was tennis, it was basketball growing up, it was football, it was just sports
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
time. And of course, your academic is all there is also there. Hanging out with friends and families, that was cool. And then a really big thing too growing up was the Youth for Christ group,
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
our church group that we go to every Saturday. We'd have some kind of event or some gathering. Like we were playing games, or we're talking about scripture, or we're doing praise and worship and all that.
Yeah.
So it's mostly honestly sports, church, and then family and friends.
Okay.
That was the thing growing up as a
Yeah.
kid. But as you grow up, you kind of like narrow that down because you become old and you just can't do all the sports anymore.
You can't.
like you, like I mean, I wish I could. I wish I could. That'd have been amazing. But you narrow it down to a couple of things where work starts to come up. Like your 9 to 5 job is kind of like
Yeah.
a not a hobby, but it sort of like takes up most of your time
Yeah.
now.
That's
Uh,
true.
so for me, I just play a lot of tennis now, basketball every now and then what I really want to pick up is, after our like food podcast, I was like, I want to like cook more.
Mm.
So hopefully I get into a little bit more cooking, but we'll see. We'll
That's
see.
cool.
Honestly, like I get too lazy. Just being out there. How about you? Growing up, what was your like kind of go to hobby, or like what?
Really, main go to is going to the park because again, going to the park, you can really do all those activities. It's like football, basketball, baseball, tennis, tag. Any kind of movement. So we was
Tag.
just moving, running. So I mean, that was go to as a kid, I think, and I always enjoyed it. I used to get upset once the rain hit in the fall and winter because Portland, it rains a lot here. So when it just rains, ain't no one want to do anything outside, because I ain't trying to get wet. I ain't trying to have none of my clothes or shoes get all wet. So it's like got to do things inside. So inside as a kid, it wasn't really a hobby, but it was like mandatory. I had to do a lot of house tours. I'm my mom's only child, and majority of the time I grew up in a house as the only child, so I had to do all the chores. I used to juggle. I was my own. I was the butler of the house. Had to do everything, so that was a task that I did. I wouldn't really say it's like a hobby. Just like when you mentioned the academia, like school. I went to school and did good in school, but it wasn't. I wouldn't consider it a hobby because it's like a must. I had to do. It wasn't really
Mhm.
optional. It was pretty much I had to, which was cool. Education's a huge piece to move up it in the world. And I'm sure we'll talk more about education in future episodes. But as a kid, those are the main things. I know you mentioned some of the things that you wanted to improve on. Like as an adult, I would like to improve on like my reading and journaling more. I've ever since I think school really burnt me out of reading. uh,
Yeah.
I have a master's, so it's like being in college for 6.5 years after high school. It's like, bruh, I'm tired of anything dealing with a book. But I'm trying to get back into that. Is really like that reading and journaling. I think journaling is a huge piece for people to reflect on their own thoughts and goals. so it can really has a huge benefit on people's just mental and overall health. And the skill though I want to get better at is video editing because I've been procrastinating on my reset consultancy videos because I haven't gained that video editing as like a true hobby yet. It's just really been those are some of the three hobby skills that I want to get better at though. Since you mentioned some of yours with cooking, we all can be better cooks, especially as men. It's good to like challenge that stereotype that men don't cook or men can't be chef and stuff. So I'm always
Yep.
I do have
Yep.
my moments where I do cook. May not be as often as I used to when I lived by myself, but since I'm a married individual, you know, we take turns cooking or go out to eat or go to our parents' house to eat.
There we go. Yeah, no, I think like hobbies are so important just because like it gets you away from like that entire fast paced life sometimes, and you're just kind of you're just in that zone where you like are happy.
Yeah,
Like reading, I know makes a lot of people happy. Video editing, that's also something. It can be stressful, I think, at times, but if you can get it down, I think you be really well. And cooking as well, or baking, or anything that just kind of like takes you away from the world in general, just away from your phone for a little bit, or from the
yeah,
TV or news or something like that. I know for me, so like tennis has been one of the things that I've really want to get a lot better in. I think I'm pretty good, but I also want to get better. And so I've
yeah.
been trying to, participate in all these leagues and
That's
everything.
cool.
And the one thing that I find when I sprained my ankle, all right, like it was the first set of my tennis match, and it was like I was on the verge of like just saying like I can't run anymore, but I had this like adrenaline that just kept going and going, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna keep going because I don't feel the pain yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like sometimes a sport like that can really take you to kind of a dark place,
Yeah.
and just keep you focused on like the goal of winning.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, like that dark place isn't sort of something that affects you in a bad way. It's just showing you what you're capable of
Yeah.
in sort of not even in your life, and also just in daily things that you can do. Because now you're like, I felt like I pushed myself to the limit of where I can't believe I'm still playing right now with a sprained ankle.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it felt like I didn't feel it until the very end. And like being on that mindset of like, okay, I want to win. I'm going to keep playing, even if I'm a little injured. I'm going to keep going,
Yeah.
and that sort of like pushed me to not think about how I'm hitting or how like my form is when I'm hitting and all that stuff. Which that really like the form for me, or like just hitting the ball, really affects my game, and I overthink it,
Yeah.
and that's what really screws me over. But being in sort of that adrenaline mode, like, oh, I'm a little injured, I have to win this game. I've just become so much like I wouldn't say I was a lot better, but I was like just in that that
Yeah.
dark place where
Yeah.
you just want to like finish the game and win.
Yeah.
And that like mentally I was so like exhausted afterwards, but it felt so good because I was able to kind of push myself even a little further, even if I was injured, and like win the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that really like that's something that I kind of think about, like how did I win with an injured ankle and not thinking about the game so
Look
much,
at you.
like. And it's so crazy because like a lot of athletes think about going to that dark place
Yeah.
where you push yourself to the limit, and at the end of the day it'll pay off, or in a game, in like final seconds of the fourth
Mm-hmm.
quarter,
Mm-hmm.
or like the
Mm-hmm.
ninth inning,
Mm-hmm.
bottom of the ninth, and you're two outs and you're the last hitter. Like just it's getting to that point where you find yourself in a different capacity, and you're able to like push yourself. which is crazy. And I know that everybody can do
That's
that.
dope. Yeah,
You just have to find yourself to do that.
yeah, and that's you really highlight on a great point on really how that mental peace. You had that self talk. It was like, nah, I'm gonna keep going. I don't feel this pain yet. My adrenaline is going, and at the present moment, I'm at the tennis court. So this is what I'm thinking. This is what I see. This is what I'm hearing, and this is what my feet is feeling. So it's really like all of those senses is in that tennis environment, and you just getting into that zone. It's really like, you call it the dark place. Some people can call it that. Some people call it other terms. I like to just really like being in that zone, fully focusing and zoning everything out, and just internally focusing your goal and task of what you need to accomplish, no matter what. I know some people have that same thought process of when working wise, when a deadline is coming up, they're like, "Oh, I'm tunnel visioning on this deadline. I got to. I'm not sick because I got a deadline coming up. I have to get it done. So I'm in the zone, and I'm going to get it done no matter what." And being aware of how to manage and mastering that on and off switch is key. And I think with athletes in the sports world, and I'm really passionate just about sports psychology because I mean that's where my education field is in, but it's just more like if people are more in tune on their feelings and their thoughts, they can really master being in that zone and live and maintain their mental health better. I think they will be able to
Mhm.
manage their anxiety better and manage stress better. But it's key to find activities that can help folks test that, because we got to put ourselves in certain situations to really test our abilities to do it. So you found that in your hobby, as in tennis wise, and like I do, I found hobbies and do other things that help me get into that zone too. Like I'd be playing basketball, golf wise, I can really get into motion and zone, and I feel a little looser. I'm not overthinking, and I'm having fun. When we have that fun and happiness thought too, it can really play influence in our behavior, our physical abilities as well. So yeah, man, I can give you props for playing on a sprained ankle, but then also you won on a sprained ankle, which is even more props. So at least you're able to you were rested and healing, and I'm sure you're going to be thriving here on out. So keep up the
Yeah,
awesome work,
no,
guys. Keep up the
it's so
tennis
funny
work.
because like I second guess myself, like, man, should I just have not played? Because then I'm on Sunday or the day before that I got a sprained ankle, I'm just bedridden. Like I can't walk.
Yeah,
Like it's so crazy because then you see the other side of like what you've accomplished and then how it's like how it affects you, and it's probably like my own fault for like playing on a sprained ankle, but it's like that feeling of like, man, I can't believe I won. Like
yeah,
I'm glad I won, but it's like now it's, should I not have, because now I'm just like in bed the whole day. But again, it's like you're saying, the getting in the zone, like with NBA players, with like professional athletes, with even like getting a master's degree or even a PhD, like I give so many mad props to them because you really have to be on that A game where you're tunnel vision, like you're getting to a goal, and then your friends or your family want you to like go to a gathering or go to a party or something, but you can't because you're trying to meet a deadline, like you're saying. It's just like you say no because you're trying to get to a goal, and this is important to you, and so like you're just that tunnel vision you're saying is like it's there. You just kind of you just have to. get all of that energy from you and then just do what you got to do. And that's really kind of like our advice, like, find a hobby that you can get to a place where it makes you happy, of course. You know, I say dark place, but it's not really like a dark, it's just more of like that tunnel vision where you're just going and you're trying to get to the end of the tunnel, the light, and it's just, yeah, exactly. Like it's one of those things where you get it, all that adrenaline or all that energy inside of you focused on one thing, and I think you'll be very, like, you'll be very successful in all that you do. That's why I give mad props to anyone who's getting their masters, their PhDs. That's not easy stuff.
Yeah, we're even people that's doing like entrepreneurs and things, running their own business. I mean, that takes a lot of
Yeah.
effort
Mhm.
and energy and time and like focus. So at the end of the day, though, everyone has some hobbies, and hobbies can change uh with with life. So just like overall, we talked about some of our childhood hobbies, and I know even now some of the hobbies that I do now, I never would have thought I'll be doing them. Like golfing, I never would have thought I'll be golfing, boy. Never. Like even when I was a freshman in college, they had golfing as like an activity, as a elective gym activity. I'm like, man, I ain't golfing. I'm not no rich preppy person, but then I'm golfing now, and it's like I'm not. I ain't like rich, rich. I'm did a social mobility than what I grew up in, but it's like I'm in the different environment and different mindset. Those like different activities I never thought I would. So I had a my own bias about golf, and now I'm participating in golfing base, and it's cool. Like I enjoy it. I meet a wide range of folks. Other activity that I do, like hobby, is like wine tasting, going to vineyards, be drinking wine. Never would have thought I'd be doing that either. I really just thought I'd be hooping and exercising. Those are the main things. And golfing, you still exercise. There's a lot of movement wise. I mean, it's funny too. It's a quick story. As a kid, I always played the PGA Tour Tiger Woods game, like the golf game. Always played it as a kid, and I used to make my own character and just play the game. So when I re, re, reflect now, it's like, damn, I'm really doing what I did on the game, but instead it's this real person. It's just real
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
So it's just
Mhm.
it is funny to hear in general with life, our hobbies can change or evolve. And I'm sure as I get older, who knows what other hobbies I'm going to add and gain to. I'm hoping that I can continue to be as active, like physically active, as I
Mhm. Mhm.
can, because I don't have no physical. I'm able to move. I don't have no physical immobility things, so I'm very fortunate and trying to take advantage of being able to use my mobility in all kind of ways. So
Yep.
find
Yep.
yourself a hobby. Continue to always evolve a hobby as well. And as Ison was mentioned earlier, the happiness is, find a hobby that brings you happiness to your body and your mind and just your soul overall, because that is the key to sustain our overall health.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, we do we do think that having a hobby just helps with overall, like, mental health, overall happiness, overall, like, enjoyment of life. Um, whether it's learning new things like playing golf, or going drinking wine, or going out with, or learning a new sport. It's something that you guys think that will help you not become sort of a better you, but a better you in terms of, like, how you feel every
Yeah.
day, because then you look forward to saying, oh, you know what, today I'm going to learn how to play golf, or today I'm going to like drink wine with friends, or like uh, become more in tune with yourself in terms of just like the things you're doing will help in that. Like we're for me, like I said, like tennis really helps me get to um relaxation mode, or even just not thinking about like anything outside on the outside world. Just, you zone in, you have fun, especially when you're with friends, when you're doing the same hobby with your friends,
Mhm.
that just adds to another level of enjoyment. And we do we do I encourage you guys to do that. And like, just again, we appreciate like you guys listening to us. We appreciate that, you take our advice to heart. And if you guys have uh anything to add with our conversation, please let us know.
Please do.
We we want to know what you guys' hobbies are, and we want to know how you guys are liking the podcast so far as well. Um, Andrew, we're gonna and before Andrew closes us, I just want to say like one thing is, regardless of what your hobby is, don't worry about what other people think, because this is going to be one thing that'll make you happy, and no one else can take that away from you.
Look at the ice, and that was awesome. I
Yes,
a
sir.
hundred
Snaps,
percent,
claps.
100% agree. At the end of the day, y'all continue to focus on what you can control. You can't control what kind of hobby you like to do or don't do, but you can't control what other people think or say about you. So just going off of what Ison just said, that's key. So remember that, and don't only remember it, but practice it too, though, and that will continue to bring you some kind of happiness and healing too. So hope y'all enjoyed sharing, hearing our hobbies. Y'all may have knew these already, or it could be new too for folks, but we always trying to just share how we are maintaining, sustaining our overall health. And hobbies is one of them, and we'll continue to share the other ways that we do it in future episodes too. So thank you as always for giving us your time to listen to us. Please continue to be engaged with us on our email, figuring.us.out23@gmail.com, and on Twitter at figuringusout23. We put 23 on there because it's the year 2023, and this is the year we began this. So we
Yes,
are
sir. Yes, sir.
being consistent with the podcast, and hopefully it's been helpful and enjoyment for y'all to hear. We'll see y'all next time. And Andrew and Ison out.